and sit down.
What is going on, Dads? And welcome to episode 28 of the Dads After Dark Show. Recorded on Sunday, January 17th, 2021. We're your hosts, Drew and John, and thank you for joining us tonight for some Nintendo and celebration. That's right, John. We are celebrating tonight. Why are we celebrating? Tell the fans.
Today, well, by the time you're hearing this, it is our 1-year anniversary of the Dads After Dark Show.
Woo! Woo! Hey! I mean, what a ride. What a roller coaster. It's been fun. It's been great.
Yeah.
Loving it.
We haven't had some vicious breakup or anything, like no fighting.
No, we're both pretty carefree guys, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
You know, but what have you been up to? What's going on?
I'm enjoying a little 3-day weekend. Haven't had one of those in a while since, besides the big 2 weeks. The kids and I have been playing board games. I think I mentioned last time we set up a little table down in the basement just for our board games so that we can stop and continue another time, just a dedicated space. And we played Ticket to Ride today, classic one. And yesterday we played the New York City subway Ticket to Ride, which was interesting because I thought it would just be like how Monopoly does their brands, and it's just Monopoly with different names. It was totally different. It was you've played Ticket to Ride, right?
I have not. Everyone says you should.
Whoa, okay. I won't get into it. This is not the forum, but you're making train tracks through the country.
Yeah,
and you score
I'm
points.
familiar with it. I've done a lot of research on it.
So it's a really fun game and it's easy to play, so it's good with kids. The New York City one is a much smaller map, and a lot of the pathways are just single. Like once you lay down a track, you block other people, whereas in the regular game there's multiple tracks.
Gotcha.
So anyways, we played the New York City one yesterday. It finished quick. And then we played the regular one today. And I think we all agreed the original one is better. There's just more space. There's more opportunities for getting around. So it's been fun.
It's fun.
We want to play possibly Catan tomorrow. And obviously that's a little more complicated, but we've played through it once. So yeah.
I'm still stuck playing Don't Wait the Daddy and Mousetrap and those types of games, which are whatever, it's fine.
It's still fun. Mousetrap is still fun.
We still do. My kids love Uno and stuff, which is that's fine. So we have a lot of fun. But John, I've been quarantined, and it's funny because I don't go anywhere, but the fact now that I can't go anywhere, it feels a little odd because I'm the guy that always goes to the market. I'm the one that always picks up the takeout food. I'm always that guy. And now I can't do that. So really quick, it's funny. I really go out for three things. I go out to go to the grocery store. I go to work. And then I go to my other part-time gig, which, as you know, I referee ice hockey. So that's the only 3 times I really leave the house. Of course, one of those 3 times is when I got exposed. I was doing a college hockey game, and one of the other officials found out they tested positive. It's funny because we test twice a week for hockey, but it doesn't. I mean, we test a couple days before we actually, referee because you have to get the results back. So he tested on a Monday. We referee Tuesday. He does results back Wednesday. So shitty situation, but it is what it is.
How do you test? Do you test just somewhere locally?
No, we do mail-in kits. So I have 8 kits sitting in my dining room table, and we just and every morning I just do the quick swab. I put everything back in the box.
Wait, whoa! So you self-swab?
I do.
Wow, is it all the way up the nose, or is it just?
I don't know. I go halfway up and I whittle it around a little bit and do the other side and put it in a tube. Call it a day.
Crap. That's my nightmare.
Well, my wife and I got tested today at the state sites. We both went over there in the car and got tested just to be safe.
They test you right in the car.
They did. Yep.
Oh man. All right. I'd rather have COVID than get tested for COVID.
But I have two questions regarding Nintendo. Before we get started, I'll make them quick. First one, I have my monthly mayhems winning, pat on my back for dominating Age of Calamity. I also bought, somebody shared on our Discord channel about that $70 eShop card at Walmart that was only $50. So I bought one. So I had the $70 plus the $50 and $85 in eShop credit. I tried to pre-order Mario 3D, Bowser's Fury, and it doesn't let you use eShop credit for pre-orders. Is that true?
No, shouldn't be.
It wouldn't let me. It would only, usually you have the option, right? Add funds or whatever. Yeah, it only would take my credit card.
Interesting.
So I didn't do it. I'm going to wait. Other question I have about you. My Nintendo, right? Back in the day, during the Wii era, I was a huge fan. I was so excited. I would buy my game, hard copy. I'd open it up. You get the little, 16-digit character. You go onto the website. You put it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get coins. I got a Mario hat. I got cool little statues. Awesome merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, I've kind of not been doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in the My Nintendo world? I'm confused. Am I missing out when I buy a game, whether it's digitally or hard copy? Do I have to do something for
what?
I don't know, redeem the credit or points or...
So they did, when they did 3D All-Stars, they started this mission thing, and you had to do a certain number of missions, and then you had to buy the game to get that pin set.
Yeah.
The thing that's tricky about it is you can do all these missions generally weeks before the game comes out.
Okay.
And then if you pre-order the game, then you've done that too. But if you wait for the physical, you have to, when you get a physical copy, you go into the options and you go to the Nintendo rewards and you claim your Nintendo rewards for the game.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't do that.
Oh, you don't do that?
No. What am I missing?
Well, you have a project to do later. How many physical games do you have? You don't have
every Nintendo published game. I have physical.
Oh my God, Drew. So what you do is you put the game into your Switch.
Yeah.
And then when you ever hit the plus button when you have the game selected? Okay, so if you
no, I haven't.
If you only could have seen his face, everybody. If you select the game, cursor over to the game, and press the plus button, an option screen comes up. One of those options is do a software update. Like now, sometimes when it doesn't happen automatically, you can initiate one immediately. On the bottom, it says Nintendo's Switch rewards. Click it, and it'll give you gold coins for the game. So if you take all your games tonight, when you're done, grab all your physical games, put them in, hit the options, you're going to get a bunch of eShop credit you didn't even know you had.
This is fabulous.
This is fabulous.
What I'm talking about. This is what I didn't understand. Now, I get when you buy digital, you get the coins automatically.
Yes, yeah.
See, it's
the same thing. You don't get as much eShop credit when you go physically, but it's still eShop credit. And so you have to do that to get credit for it on the missions. But the problem is you can't do that until the game comes out. And then usually by then the pins are sold out. So it's very frustrating.
I don't really give a shit about the pins, but I mean,
you can get a bunch. You can probably get enough to buy a $5 game by the time you're done tonight.
So there's no other really like. What about when I've seen like Xenoblade had like the keychain and stuff like that? How do you get those? Are those missions too?
No, they're not missions. Those are usually you spend platinum coins for those.
But that's a whole nother situation. How do I get platinum coins?
Yeah, and when they put them up, they go really fast because everyone's starved for the physical rewards. So somebody will usually say, "Oh, physical rewards are up," and then 5 minutes later, they're all gone.
But how do you get platinum coins?
Platinum coins generally are doing things in a game. If you play like some of the Nintendo mobile games, you can really rake them up. Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem Heroes. You can really rake them up pretty quickly.
Gotcha. I've spent enough time. I've learned a lot. What kind of Disney, whatever the hell this is, the Nintendo podcast host am I? Wow, great. I got some work to do, John. What about you? Anything else you want to talk about a little bit? What have you been playing?
Yeah, I think let's get right into it.
Sure.
All All right, Drew, what have we been playing? A couple of games we talked about last episode. We have finished or are very close to finishing, and I just wanted to follow up on those, and especially because you and I both played these games. So I want to hear. I like that we're talking about the same games. Let's do it again.
Thank you, because this reminds me of a beef I have with you. By the way, excellent episode last week. Really enjoyed listening to it. However, on your worst games of the year, John, you mentioned a game that made me want to drive off the side of the road when I was listening. Dicey Dungeons is not a worst top 5 game. All you people out there that listen to that, disregard John's talk about that game. It is a fabulous game, and I don't understand, just because John couldn't beat it without, we'll get to that, he couldn't beat it fairly.
Oh, I can beat it, Drew.
Well,
and I beat it quite fairly.
All right,
let me just say, it was my 5th worst game, I think, of the year.
Yes.
And I qualified it by saying it's not really a bad game. It's just I am very picky about the games I choose to play. I don't just try shit out. Like, I will, watch reviews and I'm very careful.
Yeah, but
although I will say, when I was finished with it, I said, you know what? I did a few reviews for the Nintendo Dads this year, and some of those games were really shitty. And probably would have put Dicey Dungeons off the list, to be fair. But I didn't want to talk about those games because I really didn't get far in those games. All of the games that I put in my worst games list, I finished. But Dicey Dungeons is still an excellent game. So let's talk about that. Sure. Soon after our last episode, we finished Dicey Dungeons. I will point out, I finished before you. I finished more quickly than you, Drew. It just took you a while. It just took a while, and your mind was in the wrong place, and it just
I was told that the women liked stamina in the bed, John, and as well as my video games.
That's just to make you feel better, Drew. So what do you think now that we finished the game?
I loved it.
What did you think of Dicey Dungeons?
I loved it. See, video game design, I think, doesn't bother me as much as someone like you, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but I play games based on what the developer did. I trust that a developer put all of their thought and different scenarios into the game. That's maybe shame on me and giving the developer too much trust, but I trust that they did this. And now don't get me wrong, there was things that you've already talked about in the last week's episode about things that were annoying, such as the pelican and stuff like that. But overall, I really enjoyed this game. I loved the short episodes rather, that you could play in 30 to 45 minutes. And it made me want to come back. I think what also helped me is as well as you, and there was about 2 other of our listeners on Discord who were playing this, we kept posting pictures like, oh, we got 5 more levels, 4 more levels, 3 more levels. So it was a little bit of competition going on. It was a lot of fun there, which I think encouraged me as well. But this was just a great game. I really enjoyed all of it. I thought it was a great diversity too, with the different characters, and changed up the play style. Yeah,
there were several nights where I was up till 1 a.m, probably more because I was trying to get to the end quicker than somebody else.
Exactly. Yep.
I really did enjoy the game. I'm kind of stuck between it because if the first character in the game is the warrior. And to me, the warrior is the purest way to play the game, right? There's nothing fancy, and he can re-roll a die 3 times.
Yeah.
But then, later on, when you have the witch and the robot, they very quickly got into this super randomization stuff. And I was so tired of dying early on in a run when you had no chance.
Yeah.
It was just... so much of it was so random, and it really kind of ruined it for me, where I felt like there was definitely a lot of skill in figuring out how you should do your moves, but just too random, and sometimes you just had no chance. So in the end, I really did enjoy it. Fuck the stupid wheel. You have to watch the stupid wheel.
I love that.
Single time. And do they ever let you spin it and have it win? Not. No. Never happens. It's so
That's
stupid.
True. They should have. I agree with that, but
they could win. Maybe it rolls and it's about to hit the black, and then you kick it, and then it moves over and you win, and they're like, "What?" So yeah, no. Overall, I did have fun, but I had a huge number of complaints that I went over in the.
You know what it was? I think we went in it with low expectations. It was a last minute game for a lot of us.
Yep.
And it was just something I didn't plan on playing, and it was great. I planned on playing Super Meat Boy during this time, and then I hated that, and I needed a quick game before Fenyx Rising, and I just took it over.
So they did patch Super Meat Boy Forever, not to get into a tangent, but you might want to jump back into that one. Okay. I think they fixed up some of those bad runs, so you might give that a try. I'm thinking about going back into. Anywho, both of us spent 45 hours in Dicey Dungeons, which I thought was cute. Took us the same amount of time. And then the other one, Immortals Fenyx Rising, we both also played extensively over the last couple of weeks. And I was able to finish it up. Finished it up at about the 30-hour mark.
Which is crazy, because I think I'm at least at 35 hours or more.
Correct. And you did a lot more side stuff than I did.
I did. I have almost every weapon unlocked, all my armor, skins unlocked. Crazy. Yeah.
What do you think of? I mean, obviously you're able to do all the side quests. Don't you feel like it's the same thing over and over and over?
Here's my thing with the game. Someone asked me in Discord today, I think, or yesterday, what is it worth picking up? My thing with the game is I'm not in love with it, and I definitely don't hate it. It's super fun, and it's a game that I'm glad I played, and I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to look back at it, but that game was the best game ever. But it's a fun game. Now, the stuff I don't like are the rifts, and the rifts are the little red volcano things that you jump in, right? Mm-hmm. Those are just so boring to me, right? It's just every time I jump in one, I say, please let this be a combat rift, because it's straight to the point, it's simple, and it's about 5 to 8 minutes, and then I'm done. But the exploring part, I think what I like doing, John, is I look for a lot of like the chests and the combat chests. And I do a lot of the chests. I find myself, you get to some certain ones, and it's like, that's a later on question. That's a little preview for later.
Which certain ones?
But I like doing those, and I think it's like a little bit of reward. It's like, you do this, you get a little reward, and a lot of those rewards are a new skin or a new weapon, or the other day I got I use the axe all the time, and I actually got a hammer, which I thought was awesome. It's just so much cool now to use a hammer. But those are that's what I enjoy doing with a lot of the sidetracking. Like today, today I'm gonna go look at this area, and I'll put 8 pins on those 8 things, and then I go do all 8 things, and then maybe I'll go back to the place and upgrade, and then I'll go set 8 more pins. So
yeah,
it's fun for me. It's enjoyable. It's what it is. The game feels rewarding in a way between the combat and the reward system and the exploration system. I feel like you get a lot of rewards, and they're coming constantly at you. So it's not a big build up with a small reward.
I agree in some ways. I would have some fun, like sometimes if I was going to play like for like a 30 minutes and I go, I'm just going to do side quests and try to like level myself up in some way. My only problem is, when you're standing in front of a rift and you're like, I don't really want to go in here. I don't. Yep. And then you go through and you get through the whole thing and you come out and it doesn't collapse because it means you didn't get like a treasure chest in there or something. And it turns like
yellow or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, I have to go back in there and do it again to find this stupid chest. I hate that.
But here's my problem with the rift, John, is that the whole point of these rifts, and they're scattered. Like, to me, that's supposed to be an integral part of the game. All it does is upgrade your stamina, which means you can run longer and you can fly further.
Which is great.
Sure, but I could just put on, some armor and get like +4 stamina bars rather than doing a hunt down 25 lightning bolts.
Is there really? Is there armor that's +4?
There's 2, but I think you can parlay them with like your helmet. So if you
I never found it. So
there's +2 stamina. So if you put your armor +2 and your headset +2, I just got +4. They have stamina and health.
I had a +1, and I largely used it. But yeah, like, I mean, you're right, and you have to do sometimes like 6 or 7 or 8 of those rifts just to get one stamina bar. Yeah, it's way too much. They take too long. Some of them take really long amount of time. I like the ambrosia because even though you need, again, like 6 or 7 or 8 to give yourself another health bar, you can find you. All you got to do is like fly to them, pick it up, and you're done, and it's quicker.
Agreed.
And then I like the battle chests where it's like you just fight some guys and you get a chest.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the puzzle, like you said, I think the puzzles that are on the overworld are usually more fun than the rifts.
I kind of like the slide puzzles too.
I hate the slide puzzles.
I like the slide.
Why does every game have a slide puzzle?
It's a 4-piece slide puzzle. If you can't figure it out.
A slide puzzle is a physical game. It's like, stop putting it in the video games. We can do so much more in a video game. Stop with the slide puzzles.
Would you prefer the constellation puzzles? For those blow.
Which ones are the constellation?
You gotta go find like 4 or 5 pearls and put them on the grid to match.
Oh, yeah,
that takes like an hour.
Time. I know, yeah. I gotta say, having finished the game, I agree with you. It's a fun game. I really enjoyed it on the Series X. I don't know if I could have played this game on the Switch because I did a lot of fast travel. And I just can't imagine waiting like 20, 30 seconds to fast travel somewhere.
There's times that I would not fast travel because I felt like I could go there faster on my horse.
Exactly.
But really quick, I will say I just unlocked, I don't know if you ever got to it because it's kind of deeper in the skill set of the skill trees. I can push a button and I automatically create a stone statue of myself and then you use it as a weight. So it's like you don't have to go get an extra block or you can make a weight.
Oh, that would be
pretty
so
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I've thought about, once I finished the game, I did not jump back in. I've thought about doing it, but I feel like it's a what did I play? Witcher 3 thing where I can go and finish everything that I see, but there's going to be a bunch of things I didn't see, and I'll either have to like look up everything or look at a map. Yeah. And so I might come back to this if I run out of things to do, but I wasn't immediately, like, I didn't find that the armor and stuff it didn't really matter what I wore. So I didn't have any motivation to find all the armor sets. And like I said, the game doesn't have a lot of soul to it. I said that in my 30-second review.
Oh, the story's terrible.
The story should be a lot more fun. The story is super awful. And there's no like tender moment in this game. There's no emotional moment. It's so stale. But it's a fun game to go through on a map and try to level up everything and whatever. It's not going to stick with you.
I will admit,
I don't know if it's a replayable game either.
No way. And I will admit, and I'm not one to ever do this, but I skip every cutscene. I don't even care what's happening in the story. It has zero, impact on me. I literally jam B or I hold the skip. I'm just not excited for it. So
yeah, if I had to play it again, I would probably choose a male character just to hear a different dialogue.
Yeah. But I of course went the female. You have to.
Yeah, I'd probably just continue. I don't know. So anyway, it was a good game. But
Fenyx, Rise and Immortals. Recommend playing it. That's all I'll say. It's not going to be the best game you play, but you should play it. Exactly. What else have you been playing, John? Anything else really quick? Or?
Yeah, I a couple games, and we're going to only really focus on like one game per week to cut this down. But I started playing Life is Strange again yesterday on Series X. This was a game, again, where I didn't realize it was on Xbox. I thought it was a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And my brother-in-law was just goofing around looking at the Microsoft, the Xbox shop. I don't know why he was doing this. He just was when we did a little post Christmas thing. And I saw it and I was like, wait, that's Life is Strange. I didn't know it was on Xbox. So I was all excited, and it was on sale for $4.
Not bad.
So yeah, when I gave my son my PlayStation 4, this was one of the games I lamented not being able to play. And here you go. So I decided the Medium comes out on the 28th, and I was like, let me see if I can get this done quickly. There's 5 episodes, and they're generally about 2 to 3 hours each. So for this 3-day weekend, I'm trying to do 1 episode per day, and then the rest should be easy. I played episode 1 on the PS4, and I really enjoyed it. But I had to start it all over again on the Series X because I didn't have my save file. And, the first episode was super easy. I knew where everything was. It's like, oh, no, I need to find this item. And you're like, blink, right here. I know where it is. Got it. And then today I got to enjoy episode 2. So, really great. This is a game I can definitely see myself playing through again and again. I think a great game to play when you're feeling sad. It's just a very chill game. and there's so many decisions that you can make, and then you can play it again and just make different decisions and just see how that affects the storyline. And since the game is only about 12 to 15 hours, it is a game you can play again, and it's not too big of a thing. So, really enjoying playing that. So awesome. And then I also played Stardew. I'm playing Stardew Valley again. This is like the 5th time I've started a new save file. Lord. I always end up stopping in these games, Drew. I can't do life simulation games for a long period of time. Nope. But I did make it to summer for the 2nd time, so I'm optimistic. I am play acting as Bayonetta. So this is taking place after the events of Bayonetta 2 and before the events of Bayonetta 3. I look like Bayonetta, and I'm just kind of doing everything in this game. In a perfect world, I'll play Stardew Valley again and focus on mining or fishing or something like that. But right now I'm just trying to do everything and learn. I'm still really bad with the mechanics. So yeah, that's what I played.
Lovely. Great. Yeah. Are you ready to get Sadie going here?
Let's go into the top 10.
Number 10.
Drew, we finally got a launch date for the new Pokemon Snap.
What is it? April 30th? Around there?
30th? Yeah. And this is the new version of the game. I guess it was on N64. Huge cult favorite. People always talk about Pokemon Snap. And now here it is on Switch. It's not a remake or anything, right? It's a new game. Mm-hmm. And what did you think of it?
So again, you know me, I'm not really a Pokemon type guy, which is weird because I feel like my kids would love it. I didn't really play the first one. I did watch the trailers for this one. So refresh me. I'm trying to understand. Now, it reminds me almost like a Jurassic Park type thing, like Jurassic World when you're in that little ball and you're just kind of going around looking. So you're looking at the screen. Can you move the screen? Is it motion control? Is it joystick control? What are you doing?
Think it's an on rails sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much information we know about this one. I think the original one was more of like an on rails thing, and you can move around. You can turn around in different directions. There's Pokemon all around you.
So 360 moving around. Now it looked like in the trailer too, you could kind of throw fruit or do stuff to maybe lure new Pokemon in and interact with them. So I'm sure that will be a way to get rare Pokemon to show up. Maybe you need certain items and stuff like that. But yeah, my kids run around the house all the time with our old cell phones, taking pictures of nothing. So I'm torn of maybe getting this game for them.
I think they would really like it. I think they would.
I think so too.
It reminds me too, if you play Pokemon to try to catch them all, it makes the game a lot more engaging because it's not just you go through the game, you beat the game, and you don't really care who you get. But like when you're trying to catch those last 50 Pokemon and you have to look at your Pokedex and it'll tell you this person comes out when it's raining in this area or whatever, and then you kind of plot your day. This one's going to be probably very similar. If you want to get a picture of this Pokemon doing this, you have to throw this fruit, and you got to do, so I think for kids it'll be enjoyable. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is a game for me, but I could see myself, if I've got nothing else to do, just giving it a go. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe a Monthly Mayhem game.
Maybe
see what's going on.
We'll steal your Switch and try to catch them all.
I don't think this would be the game that pulls Amy back in, but
okay.
Never know.
Tell her Harry Potter's in there.
Number 9.
Folks, it is time. Monthly Mayhem is upon us. It's been 2 weeks since we've wrapped up. Who won last month? I'm drawing a blank, John. Who won the Age of Calamity Monthly Mayhem? Do you remember?
I believe it was Andrew, Richard, Luigi, DeFusco.
Nope. Those are not any of them. Nope. Yes, but I did win. I did win Monthly Mayhem. Congratulations, pat myself on the back. But folks, we're doing something this month different. This isn't even Monthly Mayhem. This is Weekly Mayhem because we are shortening the span of this one. I'm not going to say why. If you're smart enough, you'll probably figure it out, but I'm not saying yes or no to anything. This starts today. Actually, it started yesterday from the time you're listening to this, and this is going to be short. 2 weeks. It's going to end January 31st. As always, the winner would get 15, runner-up would get 10, or a random lotto. And the game for this weekly 2 weeks mayhem will be Donkey Kong. That's right, folks. The classic Donkey Kong that is available on the Nintendo Online Shop for free if you're a subscriber, or whatever the hell you call it nowadays. Simple. Play the game, record your score. It's that simple. John, is cheating allowed?
Cheating is allowed.
Of course it's allowed, because why the hell not?
Yeah, this is NES Donkey Kong, so it's not like the arcade Donkey Kong. You don't have to compete with Weeby or Billy Mitchell or anything, but you can use save states all you want. And the reason why we allow it is because there's no way to prevent it. And nobody wants to lose and say, that dude beat me because he cheated or whatever. So cheating is allowed. And I think in this case, Drew, it makes it more fun. See how high of a crazy, insane score you can get by using save states. If you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Give us your best score, but see, maybe you want to try to get insane with it. So
I feel like Jesse is the one to beat. He's gonna be I feel like he's gonna put up a good score here. But yeah, this is super simple, guys. Play Donkey Kong for 2 weeks. As John said, cheat all you'd like. Just submit a high score. There'll be a graphic out in the Discord channel to remind you on that. And here how it works. The highest score gets $15. Everybody else is going to be eligible for that $10 lottery prize. Now, the way it's going to work is we don't know how many people we're going to get yet. So let's just say 10 people. Let's say 11 people signed up. The 11th person wins the $15. The other 10 will then be ranked from their scores, from lowest to highest. The lowest person will get 1 ball, and the top one will get 10 balls. So pretty simple, and then it will just fill it in between. So however many people we get, we'll just rank them, and you'll get that ball. So obviously, second place has a really good chance of winning. You might have 10 versus 1 person. So Monthly Mayhem, folks, ends January 31st.
Noon
right?
Eastern.
Eastern time. Make sure you get those pictures in. And Donkey Kong right on the Nintendo Online Shop.
Number 8.
New Super Nintendo World is upon us. Unfortunately, there is some sad news. It was supposedly opening in Japan on February 4th, and currently it got delayed. The opening is delayed. Now, the reason for this is because Japan is also in a pandemic just like us. They're in their third phase or whatever the hell they call it over there. But essentially what's happening is if they were to open on February 4th, according to the Japan laws, they would only be allowed to have 5,000 people in the park.
Wow.
And they just didn't want to do that. I don't know if it was maybe it's not, cost effective to be open for that and have all their staff and running all the, or they just want to make it more of a grand gesture and want more people in the park. So there's no date. I believe those laws are getting reduced like 8-10 days after February 4th. So we'll expect some type of announcement shortly after that. I don't think this is going to be delayed months. If anything, it might just be delayed a couple weeks if everything goes as planned. But John, they did put out a tweet the other day of new merchandise, right? What's your take on some of these items?
I wasn't really impressed with the initial set. I don't know why I wasn't impressed, but for some reason there was not, except for that little walkie Mario guy, which I thought was, everybody's going to want that one. Mm-hmm. But besides that, nothing else was really impressive. But this second set of things, definitely a lot cooler. I'm really excited. I posted this in the Dads After Dark channel. My favorite thing is probably that coffee mug. It looks like it's a stack of like 3 Mario Kart tires. There's little Mario Kart stickers on it. And they are sort of asymmetrical. They're not perfectly stacked.
Yep.
They're kind of shifted a little bit. And then there's the handle. So it just, I don't know. I really like that look. It's a very non-traditional looking mug. I'm excited for that one. What did you like?
I mean, I'm a sucker. They have this. As you know, in most amusement parks, they always have the silly hats or some type of thing. They have this Bowser hat, more of a face. And I think what it looks like is almost where the mouth of the face is where your head would be. So it's just,
whole face, right? That thing I think it's huge, right? That thing is big.
That's the way I picture that sucker.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to wear that thing around the park. They also have some cool stuff where they have some clickable pens, right? They have like the fire flower, blue shell, star, green shell, and like a little banana. Those are just cool like novelty things to put in like your drawer, so you can whatever reason. And then I gotta mention, John, you know how I am with a Nintendo plushie fan.
Mm.
They have the Toad dressed up as the chef, and he looks pretty cool there.
Mm.
That hat's not bad too. They have like the trucker hat that has all the Mario Kart stuff on there.
Yeah, it's probably kind of cheap feeling.
Yeah. Not for me, but
yeah, I like the pens too. I could see myself getting that pen set and using them just on my desk. They look very decorative. There's a blue shell, a green shell, a star, a flower, and a banana.
Yep.
So that looks pretty cool too.
Number 7.
Bowser's Fury. So this past week, Nintendo, about a day in advance, said they were going to post like a 2-minute little trailer of Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. And we got that, and it was pretty cool. And we were able to get a little bit more information about the Bowser's Fury. And it was funny, the next day, without any announcement, they posted a 7-minute, explanational trailer of it. Which was even cooler. So we learned a lot about Bowser's Fury. We learned that it's completely separate from Mario 3D World. We learned that you can play it right from the beginning. You don't have to beat Mario 3D World, which is kind of expected nowadays. On these ports, they don't try to make you do everything to unlock stuff because they know you might have already done that on the Wii U. And yeah, it looks like it could be a fun little game. I don't really have a sense, Drew, of how long it will be. Some people seem to think it's like a whole separate game, but I don't think it's a very long thing. I think it's maybe like 4 or 5 hours, something small. But yeah, it looks totally cool. And I was probably going to buy Mario 3D World anyway. I 100%ed it on Wii U, but I can really see myself. I'll probably just jump into Bowser's Fury right away and play through that. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm done, I might go through 3D World. But what did you think? I mean, I loved it. What did you think?
I don't know.
I'm surprised.
I'm 100% getting this game, and like you said, I'll probably. I don't remember if I 100%ed it on Wii U. I mean, I definitely beat it. I'm torn on the. It's there from the get-go. I mean, I get it because it's trying to encourage more people to go spend the full $60 on it, but I guess maybe I don't fully understand what exactly it is. You know what I'm saying? I still don't think we really understand it, and I think that's my trouble and problem with it is what actually is it. So I don't know. I don't know. I saw too little of it, I guess, and not that I need to see more. I don't want to be completely spoiled, but I'm getting it regardless of it. But I guess I didn't really know what to expect either. So I didn't really have any expectations. So my expectations aren't good or bad. It's just it is what it is. I don't know, Okay.
No, I mean, that's fair. We don't know a lot about it. I'm actually excited that we don't know everything about it. I don't want to know everything about it. I'm definitely going to play it. So, you gave me a little bit of taste of what it is, but, stop. That's good. It may dissuade me from getting to 3D World only because I don't need to play through it. But that's okay. They just want to sell the game. They don't care what I play. So, and I tell you, Super Mario 3D World might be one of my favorite. I can't remember where we ranked it, but for me, I think it might be one of my favorite 3D games. It might be the favorite 3D game.
It's good.
So
this is one that I'm excited for because I'm going to be able to play this, after work, on the weekend, on the big TV, because my kids will love watching me play this. And I'll be able to play with the wife as well. Right. So this should be like, I could play this, whereas now it's, I play Fenyx and I'm sitting on the couch and it's on the handheld. And this will be able to just go back to like the Animal Crossing days where I could play on the TV and the kids trying to get into it. So for that, I'm super excited.
I'm excited.
Number 6.
All right, this next one here goes out to Chris HL94, and this is sports talk, guys. We want to introduce a little bit of sports into this dad conversation. And, John, the topic this week, ice hockey versus Blades of Steel.
Oh, my childhood right there.
Yeah, same. They're so different and so unique. So here's my thing. I'm going to start off by saying Blades of Steel, in my eyes, has so much more depth, let's say, right? Because from a hockey game point of view, I feel like it's solid. It has the fighting scenes, right? It has you could play like Asteroid and Space Invaders or whatever the hell games they were on the scoreboard between periods. It has like I feel like it's a more well-rounded, complete hockey game. And it's based more on the NHL, if I remember correctly, right?
Well, sure. Yeah. It tries to be more realistic.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, ice hockey, on the other hand, is more of the arcade-ish type. And to me, it's a hockey game. Don't get me wrong. You have to control the goalies. It's a little bit more. I mean, we had the competition. We were scoring 33 goals in a period. It's not. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a fun time with a buddy, like ice hockey might be the one. If you're looking for more of like, I want to play like and then again, this was back then, like a realistic hockey game, you're going with Blades of Steel. That's my take on those two. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, they're both great. You don't have to pick one or the other. And a lot of people had both, which is funny because the NHL is not, I mean, it's probably the least popular of the big four sports. Not for you. I mean, it's your most popular, but the thing about Blades of Steel is like the players didn't have any personality. They all look the same. It was a more realistic game. And I remember when you're skating, you're just constantly running into other guys. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And it had a lot of that digital, when the game comes up, it's like, ching, Blades of Steel. It's just wild at the time. But for me, ice hockey is the game that would make me pee my pants more. Like, if that matters.
No, you're not wrong.
I mean, I was laughing when I was playing by myself during our ice hockey competition because it's just so quick, right? It's like, face off, shoot, score. It's already over. And the thing that I will say about ice hockey is it's so endlessly replayable because you can pick your characters. You got fat guy, regular guy,
correct,
like tiny guy. And so I would have fun, like, maybe I'm going to pick the 4 fat guys, right? And just like pound everybody. Or I'll pick the 4 skinny guys and just fly around. And then I remember playing my brother and you're kind of watching who he's picking. And you're like, oh, he's picking, he has a couple light guys. So I'm going to get a couple heavy guys. And then he sees you pick heavy guys. Yeah. So he makes his guys a little bigger. And then you adjust back and forth. I found that really fun. And really quick, Drew, I was going to mention this and I totally forgot. I'm glad we're talking about this. Did you know the Famicom version of ice hockey is the Japanese, like Nintendo, is a disc system game. Okay. And it has the fat guy, the regular guy, and the light guy on the cover.
No.
It's so, I'll look it up again. I'll send it to you. It is hilarious. I want it so bad.
I mean, I agree. You definitely don't want to or don't have to pick one. But I mean, and ice hockey is, to me, brings back the memories of what, young American kid did not load up that game and say, I'm going to be Team USA and I'm playing Team Russia. Like, It was just a thing that you had to do. So that to me was iconic in a way. But
yeah. Oh, it's one of the original black box games. They're both so good. I'd have to say over the years, though, I've played ice hockey a lot more. It might be just because it's more available. But yeah, they're both so good. And, it really makes me want to go back and play some Blades of Steel because I think it's really been a long time since I played Blades of Steel.
And it's not as easy to get access to it, right? But I agree. I think I was the opposite. I played a lot more Blades of Steel when I was younger. And I think as I got older, I actually played more ice hockey in a weird way. Because you know what it does? Blades, I hate to say this, I don't think Blades of Steel holds up as well. I think ice hockey can because of the type of game it is.
Blades of Steel had a really good fight system. Like ice hockey was, you just smash the buttons really fast. Blades of Steel was like kind of this strategic fighting game, which was hilarious. Yeah. Because the NHL, they've always kind of been, they know fighting is popular, but it's not like part of the sport. And to see a game just do this realistic strategic fighting.
It was hilarious. Awesome. Uppercut them, you do the long jab punch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then
Now-
the loser goes into the penalty box.
That's right. That
which
was the
is such
game
a
where
great-
if you win, you don't get a penalty. It's incredible. It's incredible. But there's now strategy in getting into fights if you're good at it.
Yeah, if you're a good fighter, you can stay at the penalty box. It's hilarious.
Oh
my
that's
God.
awesome.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Drew, is it cheating to kill a game and restart it as an exploit? I asked this question because of Dicey Dungeons. We talked about this, that you can cheat in Dicey Dungeons. So here's the story again. I was playing Dicey Dungeons. I got super frustrated. I died at the boss, and I just hit the home button and closed the game. It was a rage quit. Okay. I was so pissed off. I said, I'm done with this game. And then a few hours later, of course, I wasn't done with the game. So I load the game back up, and lo and behold, I'm sitting there on the boss screen about to fight the boss. And I was like, wait, what happened? So it turns out in Dicey Dungeons, there is an exploit. I'm not sure if they noticed this or not, but before you do a fight, it saves your game. But it doesn't save your game after you die, because it's a roguelike, and when you die, you have to start from the beginning. They don't save your game until after, you hit the confirm button and end the fight. So if you're dying or about to die or whatever, and you just quit the game, kill the game, it'll save your bookmark from before the fight. Well, as soon as I noticed this, Drew, I'm like, I'm back in, baby. And I tell you, when you play the game and you spend 25, 30 minutes to get to the boss, and then the boss kills you, it's super frustrating. So I took to using this exploit for the whole rest of the game. For the most part, I was going to use it on the bosses because the levels were easier. But towards the end of the game, the levels were getting super hard. And so I would kill the game even if I was going to win the fight, but I lost too much health during it, and then I'd restart it and restart the fight. And it leads me to think, when you cheat in a game, what are legit cheats and what are the bad cheats? So first question, would you agree, Drew, that if you're using a thing like a Game Shark, like one of those hardware devices that lets you cheat in a game, that's cheating, right? That's totally cheating. You are changing the logic of the game to play. Okay, fine. But if the game has a bug and you use it to exploit the game, is that cheating? Or
yes,
is it
John,
not cheating?
you cheated. You cheated. You took advantage of the game. You played the game how the game was not intended to be made or developed in that case for this situation. You cheated. You cheated. That's it. You cheated. Just like you cheat on Nintendo, you cheated at Dicey Dungeons.
Do you think that they will fix this exploit?
No.
Okay, no.
Because it's really up to the user. It's just you choose to or choose not to do it. I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody in it, I guess you could say,
Yeah, I mean, you guys that beat the game, you say you didn't cheat. I know you guys cheated. As soon as I
said I cheated once.
Cheated.
I cheated.
There's no way, Drew, that you cheated
John,
one time.
You just need to face the fact that I was better than you at Dicey Dungeons. I can't help that.
There's no way, because you could cheat and no one would know. So admit that you used it more than once. I
cheated once. I told you. That's all I needed to cheat. I had strategy in all of my runs that got me to where I needed to be with the skill sets I needed. Now, I probably restarted more than you did. I'll say that. It sounds like I played a lot more runs, possibly.
What do you mean? Like if it was going bad, you restarted the run earlier, or?
No, I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, we both put 45 hours in.
So I had a couple of runs, especially that.
But my point is, you probably, if you said you cheated a lot, I probably just kept playing those levels over and over again.
I had some runs where I just got through the whole thing. I can't remember I can't remember where I cheated the first time, but then the next two runs I did them back to back without cheating at all. So I didn't cheat on every run. But when I did the Witch 4 run, which was so hard, I cheated probably on the one run where I finally beat it, probably like 20 times, where I would do a fight, and I lost too much health. I would restart the fight, or I would die. I would restart the fight. I even had to do the run 3 times because I got into situations where I had won a fight, but I was too weak to fight the next guy. And it's only.
But I feel like that's strategy, because there's times when I knew I wasn't leveling up where I wouldn't even kill the other guy. Instead, I would do like 2 or 3 turns of healing.
Yes.
Right, and then I would end with half health rather than only like a quarter of health.
But sometimes you can heal, but you'll lose more health. I mean, I was never able to heal that much.
It depends.
Maybe a 3 health, maybe a 1 health. There weren't many 6 health games or anything.
No, but sometimes if you duplicate or whatever, we only get to the low level details. But
and I'm sure Hambone Johnny cheated like hell. I mean, we all know it. We all know it, Hambone.
John, because you cheated, don't blame other people on your absorption.
Well, if you're listening, Dicey Dungeon people, don't fix it. Fix your game, but don't fix the exploit, okay?
Number 4.
All right, John. Chris HL94 is back again for another question, or this time let's call it a dad's debate. This is a Dad's After Dark coin counter coin, whatever the hell that means. I just have to.
I don't know what that means.
I didn't want to admit that if maybe I was dumb of some sort, but I don't get that analogy. But we're gonna go with it. Coin counter coin. Here's the debate, John. What is the most attractive feature on a video game character? Simple. Tits or ass? Do you want to go first, or do you want me to explain my rationale?
At first, I just want to say Chris HL said he wants a sports segment, and then the next thing you know, he's like, tits or ass. I want to hear your point of view, Drew.
Here's my point of view. Tits and ass has a fine line of, what you're in the mood for, you could say, in the real world. But when it comes to video games, here's the problem. An ass is very, I hate to say straightforward, because it comes in all shapes and sizes. But an ass is an ass, right? I mean, if you think about it, what can you really do in a video game to make this any more attractive? But tits, John. Titties, the world and imagination can run wild with the type of costumes that would never work in the real world, right? Types of nipples that don't have to be that would never work in the real world. The size of them on these tiny skinny girls or animals or aliens or whatever it might be. And again, I'm going to go back to the costumes again, because the clothes they wear are just unrealistic. That makes these titties so much better. So I have to say, from a video game point of view, I feel like they can do so much more with the boobie than they can with the bummy, because it's just it's that simple. Now, don't get me wrong. I would always go back to, like we said, for Fenyx, I went with the girl, because if I'm running around in a third-person game, I want to be looking at an ass, a female ass.
Right.
But again, an ass is an ass. You can put tight pants on them. You can put a little G-string popping out, but I can see that in the real world as well.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Well, if you're on the coin, Drew, I too am on the coin. I agree with you. There's more personality in the cleavage that a character will show. I was thinking about this question, and I had the same thing as you. Usually, when you see a character, they're facing towards you, and so you're not going to see their butt in any way. There certainly are examples. We had this discussion in Dad's After Dark show channel, and Twintel, I think, is the best example of, like, wow, especially because when you're playing ARMS and you're Twintel, you're looking at the butt the entire time. But I wanted to go back to our second episode where we had our top Switch hotties, which, by the way, we need to do that topic again because there's been some new hotties.
Fair.
And I remember that my number one hottie on Switch is Camilla from Fire Emblem Warriors, right?
Yeah.
And she's got massive tracts of land. And I was like, what were my others?
I've ever heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were my others? And I was like, did they factor? Because I'll tell you right now, in the real world, I'm not one to be impressed by breast size, like at all, because
John, any male is impressed with breast size. Who are you kidding?
From the perspective of the person I'm with, because, like you can watch a movie and be like, whoa, look at her, whatever. But like,
true.
If your significant other has like huge breasts, it means, there's certain things they can't do, so like, but in video games, there is no back pain. There is no lack of ability to run quickly. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't interfere with your ability to do things. They just have huge boobs and that's it. So I went to go look at my list from that episode and I laughed out loud. This was right before the show because my list was Camilla, Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Jenna Anderson from Astral Chain, Bayonetta, and Maiko from Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And they all have massive breasts. So I didn't really have to think about it much past that. Because in the end it was demonstrated to me. And since then, I feel like when you see a lot of cleavage on a character, it does have an impact. When I played Catherine, one of my worst games of the year. But the waitress in the game, Erica, she, like, the first time she introduces herself, she walks over the table and she's just leaning over talking to you, and you're just like, ah. It just has an impact on you. So, I'm all...
I mean, the simple answer, Chris, is why not get a little bit of both worlds with, of course, the hottest video game character of all time, the Wii Fit Trainer. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But
always. She doesn't have a big rack, right? So
I say she has solid-sized C cups.
Solid-sized C cups? You know what? Once we got this question a couple days ago, I thought it was interesting because your list of girls aren't really big chested. I mean, you had Pyra,
Mithra,
Triss. Yeah, a little bit, but like Paulina and Wii Fit Trainer, it's not like a breast thing. But definitely in your mid 3. Who's this other girl? The Widowmaker from Overwatch. So you can definitely see the impact there, but I don't know. Wii Fit Trainer, maybe in that picture looks a little busty, but I don't really take her. See, Wii Fit Trainer has my ideal real world physique, right? In shape, boobs that don't look like out of proportion.
Correct.
But like in a video game, it's more fun to see a Widowmaker.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's a great topic.
Number 3.
We got a question, Drew, from Antonio Cotroneo. He is a producer for the Dads After Dark. And here's his question. The one game I've seen that could get me to purchase a next-gen console is Season. This is a PS5 console exclusive. What games or experiences pushed you to upgrade? Now, if we're talking about next-gen, I did get the Series X. I went back and forth between the PS5 and Series X, but ultimately decided on the Series X. And I can give some insight into that decision. Interestingly enough, the biggest reason for that decision is because of Game Pass. I don't want to invest a ton of money into games on a console other than my Switch. So that was the real reason I went with the Series X. There were some games I was actually more excited for the launch games on a PS5. And then one day I said, well, you know what? If I buy Demon Souls and I buy Miles Morales, that's $140 on just a couple games. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend that kind of money. But on Series X, I got Game Pass. You pay $10 a month. And I've been able to play a whole bunch of games. And then the Medium comes out on the 28th. And I get to play that for free because it comes out on Game Pass. And really, the only two games I bought were Fenyx Rising and Life is Strange. So, but
which you would have bought Fenyx on Nintendo anyway, so it's understandable.
Yeah, no, I actually wouldn't have bought it on the Switch. That was like a game that I was like very excited to buy on the Series X, but I wouldn't have played it on the Switch. I just didn't like the look of it. But in terms of like a game that brought me over, it's funny because when I bought the Series X, it showed up in the mail. I set it up and promptly I played Tetris Connected for like 3 minutes because it was on Game Pass and I had played it on my Xbox One. And then I just turned the console off and I didn't touch it for the rest of the day. And I was telling my friends, I was like, that is the most unexciting console launch. Literally, I just got a faster, more sleek looking, better performant Xbox One. That's what a Series X was to me. There was no games that really got me. However, on the 28th, the Medium, that was one game I was very excited about. And that is like really the first next gen game that's going to be on Series X. The other stuff is just Series X enhanced stuff that you can play elsewhere. So the Medium has me excited. I also got it for Senua's Saga. That's the Hellblade 2 sequel to the first game. I'm very excited about that. I loved Hellblade, and I played that one on the Switch. I really would like to play that on Xbox. That's on Game Pass as well, so you can play it for free. It looks a lot better, but I really enjoy that game. And then Scarlet Nexus. I don't know how much I will love that game, but that's been in a lot of the trailers for the new Xbox, and I just love the art style on it. It just looks really good. It kind of has an Astral Chain appearance to it. I'll find out more before that game comes, but yeah, and I don't even think that's an exclusive necessarily. But yeah, the Medium and Senua's Saga are. So yeah, to answer that question just for myself, it wasn't so much the games. If PS5 had Game Pass and Demon Souls was on Game Pass, I might have just gone in that direction too. But it was more about the cost and how all of these exclusive games, whereas I'm not sure they're going to be better, will be free. But again, I'm really excited for Hellblade 2. I'm really excited for Medium. There's a lot there. So that's what it was for me. Now, Drew, you're like a Nintendo guy. But like hypothetically, is there anything that could happen that would make you want to get a second console, and what would that be?
That's hard to say, and I don't think there's much because, the way I look at it is I'm not, I like you said, I just can't see a scenario where I drop $500, $400 for a system plus like a $60, $70 game, controllers, all that. I just can't see myself dropping $500 to play like a game. There's no one game I think that could ever come out. I'm trying to like think about things that I love, right? I love really only a few things, right? One of them, one of the biggest things is really Nintendo. So obviously that's not happening. I'm even thinking of like other things that I love, like a Game of Thrones. Like, what if like a Game of Thrones game came out similar to The Witcher? Would that be something that would? And again, is that worth like $500 for me to go play? Probably not. And don't get me wrong. No. I'm sure once I spend that money, then it's like, oh well, I can get that game, and oh look, I can play Fenyx Rising on that. But no, the problem with me, John, is I just don't have the time. A lot of my games I play are on the Switch handheld. I don't have a lot of TV time with two young kids. It's just I don't know when I would ever play it. So maybe later in life, but right now, no. I don't think there's any game that you could tell me is coming out for one of those two systems, and I'd say I'm in.
I think so, yeah. And I always felt like with you, you would pair well with the Xbox because, like you said, you're paying $500. And you can buy an Xbox Series S for $300, so you don't even need the top end one. But the thing about it is, a lot of the games you like, they come out on Game Pass and they're free. So even though you're spending that $300 and you're paying that $10 a month, which doesn't end up being that much a year, but there's games that you would be able to play and you basically wouldn't have to buy them, right? So you just finished playing like Moving Out.
Yep.
So I don't know how much you spent for Moving Out, $20, or you got it on sale.
On sale. I don't think it was that much. I don't remember.
So you can play that for free on Game Pass, right? So there's just games like that. Celeste is on Game Pass. If you do it right and you do Game Pass, you have the opportunity to then save that money through the year, through the next couple of years. There's a Disneyland game on Game Pass.
That's right, yeah.
Maybe you wanted to play a Doom game, or you want to play Dragon Quest. That was a game you've played in the past. That's now free on Game Pass.
I think I would definitely find a way to play those, but again, I'd be nervous with starting any game over 10 hours just because of, like I said, I don't have a lot of TV time. And that mix that in with Nintendo, it's like, when I do have TV time, I usually play, like, I prefer to play Fenyx on the TV if I can, So
yeah.
But that's a really hard situation for me right now with my lifestyle. But
yeah, and very interesting though that Antonio chose Season as his game for PS5 as well. We took a look at it before the show. Very pretty looking. I'm not sure what all the game is, but really love that art style. It looks like it's a PS5 console exclusive, so I won't be playing it, but a pretty cool game to choose. I think that is very cool. In the past, Demon Souls was the reason I bought a PS3. So that's why I think the PS5, that playing the remake, had a certain vibe to try to play that one. But I'm just going to have to let that one go. But yeah, very cool. Good question.
Number 2.
Happy 1-year anniversary to Dad's After Dark show.
Yay.
What a roller coaster it's been. I mean, John and I have gotten to know and love each other and all this fun stuff for the last, really, I don't know, John, how long? Maybe three plus years we've kind of known each other.
We connected on when you were running those contests.
That's right.
I don't think they had a name or anything, but you were running these monthly contests.
No, weren't they weekly?
Yeah, they might have been weekly.
Weekly tournaments, I think they were called.
And I think it was just like Switch Online games at the time. And I remember I've always been someone that likes to start, the Facebook groups. I've created a few Facebook groups. I'm the one that likes to do the little contests or whatever. And I thought it was so cool. It's like, look, somebody else wants to do this. They're just doing this because they enjoy seeing people have fun. And I thought it was so cool. And then I think I chatted with you and we had some ideas about other things we can do. I was helping you out a little bit. And then that's when we combined sort of on Mayhem. So we've been partners for a long time before we did this show.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, about a year ago, right around Christmas time, we started talking and we started figuring this out. We talked to the Nintendo dads quite a bit about kind of, and it's funny. I don't really know. Do you remember how or why we took over the After Dark name?
So Justin approached us because we were doing the Mayhem, and he approached us, and I'm not sure why, maybe because they were thinking about expanding their show content, and said, hey, are you guys interested in doing like a little show for us or whatever?
That's right.
And then he basically said, just, come up with an idea or something. So we talked about it. And I believe I was the one that said, what if we did we had several ideas. I wish I could remember what they all were.
I know, me too.
But I said we could do like Dads After Dark, where, it's not kid friendly. Because when you listen to the Nintendo dads, they always make a point of saying that they're kid friendly. And there's just some topics they can't cover because of it. And if we're going to do another show, hey, what can we do that's different? And I'm not even a guy. I don't really curse a lot. I tell my kids, like, I don't want to hear you cursing, that sort of thing. But there's just certain topics we want to talk about. And one of the first things that came to mind was, who are the best Switch hotties? Because we said the Nintendo dads can't do this topic. It turns out that they had an After Dark show. And if you go on YouTube and look for it, it is an old show, right?
Oh, yeah.
It is before they had good equipment. I didn't even know about it. So I didn't come up with that idea based on that at all.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And like you said, it's funny how it quickly merged into that and the conversation. And the funny part is, too, how long did we actually last on the Nintendo Dad's feed? I think 1, maybe 2 episodes. And then they were like, you know what, guys? You guys are doing a great job, but we can't have you anymore. So we got kicked off of our own show within 2 weeks.
Somebody complained because I guess their kid was listening to the feed, and then our show came on. And then I said, "Oh, it's probably Drew. He was probably saying something."
Well, I think we definitely wanted to do something different, right? We didn't want to just be another Nintendo podcast. There's plenty of those out there. We wanted to kind of put that spin on it where it's. Most of us are guys, right? And we all play video games and we look at video games and we look at these females and other things, and there's not really anybody out there that talks about these things, right? So we're like, hell, there's no rules, there's no limit, there's no barrier. Let's just do this because we know everyone else out there is thinking it. If me and you are thinking it, everyone's thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just merged into this. We don't do that as much anymore, but we still do it a lot. And I think that's the point is we see questions from listeners that they would never ask in other podcasts.
Oh my God. Our listeners ask the most rancid questions sometimes week to week that we have to answer. So if we're thinking about it, they're thinking about it times 100.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Agreed. So what a journey it's really been. You look back at all the episodes we've done with some amazing names like the 8-Bit Booty, and remember the whole episode of Retro Sets Life where I broke down how retro video gaming is very similar to the male sex life. What a fascinating concept. I mean, the shit that we came up with it's just fun. I don't even look at this as a podcast this is just, me and a buddy coming on Sunday nights and just chatting. It's great,
My memory of the Retro Sex Life episode is that not everyone's aware of this. I didn't know what you were doing with that. You had some story. And I was just listening to it like everybody else and being like, oh my God, like what is going on? That was definitely a good one. I really like the top five Switch hotties because again, that's a topic that you can't talk about. And we had a lot of fun with our top five. I mean, we just had a blast. And like I said, I want to do it again. Maybe we do one every year, top 5 of the year. Maybe, yeah, like, Barbosa from, anyway. No, we've had a lot of good
Trainer will always be there. Let's be honest.
Some of my favorite stuff has really been the show stuff because I haven't done a podcast. I guested on, I think, like 5 different podcasts over the years.
Yeah.
But I never did my own. And what I found interesting is week to week how we get together and we sort of do a post-mortem each time and like how can we fine tune. We've hit episodes that are over 2 hours and we're like, we have to cut this down. And every week we kind of change it. We did the format to the top 10 was based on a little conversation we had one day that you had heard something from another show that had little short bites. And I was like, that would be great because we were for months just very laboriously having to pick topics that we knew we had to talk about for 20 to 30 minutes. And when we started the show, we were going to do like 2 topics and then we got down to 1 topic. And, it's nice that there's not this pressure of saying, hey, I want to talk about this Dicey dungeon exploit. And it's like, well, we can't spend 20 minutes on that.
Yeah.
So it gives us the ability to talk about a lot more.
I absolutely love this format. It's just amazing. You found Sadie, which was awesome, but this format is just absolutely perfect. It just changes stuff up so much, and I hope everyone else loves it because it really just flows well. Like you said, it adds all these topics that we would never be able to actually do earlier. So
yeah, definitely talking about dink that thing. So we should do a few more years of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And number 1.
2021 predictions. Look, the Nintendo dads, they do this every year. I think it's among people's favorite episodes every year where the dads get together. They make some predictions. We all know how it works. I think we need to talk about their prediction show. Justin has won 3 years in a row, and I think Jesse is on to him. I think Justin is winning because he's giving these easy peasy predictions and they're on to him. I heard it from Marty, from Tim, from Jesse. They're on to him. So we're going to do something similar. We're going to give our predictions. We decided to just limit it to 5. We don't need to go through a million of them.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it a little bit differently. When we give a prediction, let's say Drew gives me a prediction, I'm going to score it. And it's going to be basically like beginner level, medium level, hard level. And what that means is the end of the year when we go through our predictions, if he nails a hard level prediction, I'm going to give him 3 points. But if he nails a beginning level prediction, right? Nintendo is going to make games in 2021.
Well, shit, let me cross that one off.
Nintendo will not change their logo. He's going to get 1 point.
That should be
so
negative.
The challenge here is you want to try to get your predictions correct, but on the same end, you want to try to make your predictions a little more aggressive so you can score more points. So we're going to score each other's predictions. At the end of the year, we're going to see how we all did. So let's start with you, Drew. We'll do a little snake format here.
I like that. Let's do that.
Why don't you give me your first prediction?
My first prediction of 2021. Nintendo will release not one, but two sports games. And when I say sport, and I'm going to go on the limb, and I'm going to tell you one of them. And one of game of these is going to be a new Punch-Out.
Wow.
Yep, you're going to see a new Punch-Out, and I'm hoping this Punch-Out is going to be very different from what we know today. There was an old game called Rocky. I think it was called Rocky Balboa, maybe on like PlayStation 2, where you did training in between fights, and that's where I'm seeing this game go. You go do mini games to help build your character, and then you go do your actual fights. So I think this is going to be more of a story mode with not just fighting, but mini games involved to level up your character into more of a skill tree of something that you want to focus on. So Punch-Out will be one of the two. And then I think the second one is going to be up in the air. But I could, the obvious would be, Mario Golf, Strikers, obviously not tennis, but something along those lines.
I love this prediction. I would love to see it. Punch-Out on the Wii is one of my favorite games. So good. Even if they just ported Punch-Out, I would be pretty happy.
The Punch-Out on the Wii is fabulous. I agree.
It's so good. And you got the Joy-Cons, you still have the motion control, and those kind of games I love to play with motion controls. So
when you get to the end, spoiler alert for a 10-year-old game, and you get to fight Donkey Kong, I mean, how cool is that?
I'm not sure I ever did. I found out about that later. If it wasn't a Wii game, I would go back and play it, but I don't feel like setting up my Wii.
I agree.
I am going to score that one a medium level.
All right. I think that's, all right. I
think if you said there was going to be a sports game, that would be a beginner level. Yeah. So I'm going to make it a 2-pointer because we know there's going to be at least one. I prefer Strikers. But if we get both, oh boy, that would be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So 2 points for you if you get this right.
All right.
My first prediction is going to come up pretty quickly. We have heard rumors about Animal Crossing have paid DLC. Ooh. I think they are going to announce this for the 1-year anniversary of the game. So I think they are going to announce paid DLC right or around March 20th to celebrate the 1-year anniversary. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what's going to be in it. I think it's a pretty aggressive prediction. I think it might have some quality of life. These things become... You got to be careful with these things. You don't want to offer stuff in a paid version that people have complained about, because then they feel like I have to pay $10 so I can carry more items or something like that. But
agreed.
There's going to be free DLC. I think it'll continue for that first year, but I think there's going to be a paid DLC which is going to offer just a little bit more. And I think that will be for the 1-year anniversary.
That's a tough one to judge. I want to almost say like a 1.5 because I feel like DLC is going to be a thing. The paid thing is what's really pushing that. I mean,
and the timeline. Don't forget, this is the 1
Oh, you're
year.
saying okay?
If it comes in the fall, this is not a correct prediction.
I'll give you 2 points there, I guess.
Okay.
All right. My number 2 one is I'm going to go away from the Switch video gaming for a second, but stay with Nintendo. Nintendo stock is currently around $78. In 2021, Nintendo stock will hit $100 per share.
Woo! Wow. Based on what?
I think that's based on amusement park revenue. I think that's about upcoming films. I think there's a lot of stuff happening here where there's potential for growth.
And what's the stock price right now?
Around $78.
$78.
So it needs to jump like, what's that? Almost 30%. 25, 30%. It's a lot. I mean, it has all year, all of 2021. By the end of 2021, it would have hit 100 at some point.
All right. I'm going to give that a 2.
That's fair.
That's you are going on a limb. That's a big jump.
That is a huge jump.
That's a big jump. And
that's a jump that something has to happen. If it just continues releasing games and stuff, it will not ever hit that. But something big has to happen for the company.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. My second prediction. This is a prediction we've heard before. But my prediction is this is the year we're going to see Metroid Prime Trilogy. I think it's going to happen. It's going to be a summer game for Nintendo.
Okay.
And it's going to be coming with a themed new Switch SKU. It's going to be, I'm sure Tim wants to see this happen. Probably, I'm not going to make this part of the prediction, but it's probably going to be like that red and kind of orangish color Joy-Cons. And possibly a colored Switch now that we're seeing that with the red and blue. We didn't really talk about that, but the red-blue Switch, we're finally seeing a non-black Switch. So I think that's going to be the summer game. And the reason why I think that's coming is because I think Metroid Prime 4, we might see holiday of 2022. And Nintendo's going to want to prime the pump here, right? They want people to get into the trilogy. There's 3 games. They want people to really get into it and really kind of ramp up the excitement in the lead up to Metroid Prime 4. But you don't want to release this too late. You don't want to release this 6 months before Metroid Prime 4. So you need to get this out early, get it on the shelves, let people play it. The more people that buy this game, the more people that will play Metroid Prime 4. If you put out Metroid Prime 4 today, the sales wouldn't be as high. You need to give people a chance. So I think around summertime, maybe in the fall, we're going to see the trilogy sold separately. There's going to be a themed version. We'll get like one of those $400 bundles with a case. And that's it. It's going to be the lead up to what I think is going to be Metroid Prime 4 holiday 2022.
So I will give you 2 points for that. And I think that's strictly due to the themed Switch parlayed with the summer fall release. I mean, Metroid Prime Trilogy, I think alone would have been like a 1-pointer because I think that's kind of. But with the other stuff in there, very specifics, I'll bump that up to a 2.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how I want to word this next one, but I think I'm just going to go simple. Maybe be a 1-pointer, but that's okay. We will see no Switch Pro, in quotation points there, in 2021.
Okay. I really don't like the no predictions, but this is a really important one because a lot of people think it's coming. I really want a Switch Pro so badly, and it does pain me to say that it's probably more likely that we won't get it this year, just because sales are just so good and there's no reason to do it.
Exactly.
But I feel like I really hope that somebody's pushing to like do it before you really need it, because I'm telling you, as soon as Switch sales start to dip, they're going to dip hard and fast.
Now, so I do think we may see a Zelda Switch edition. I'm torn on this one because it's funny how Mario just released one, right? Which is really weird. Like, this must have been delayed from the Mario celebration, right? Mario 35. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like a green and yellow Switch for Zelda. But at the same time, I'm torn on that one. So I don't want to say it because will they have one for Breath of the Wild 2? And I don't know if that's coming out this year. So do you know what I'm saying? Like, well, would they waste the SKU of just a green and yellow Zelda Switch, generic Zelda Switch, or would they save it for Breath of the Wild 2 bundle? That's a tough one, but I do think we see a Zelda Switch this year. I just don't know what it would be for, but I'll just stay simple. No Switch Pro or anything like that this year.
All right, I'll give that a point.
Yeah, that's a oneer. I'm not gonna.
And Gwen, to qualify it, you're saying an improved a significantly improved hardware.
Correct. New edition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to pass, but I have a feeling that it will. My number 3, I'm going to swing for the fences on. Every September since 2019 or so, we got Nintendo Switch Online. I think in when was it? It was 2019.
Yes.
No, I can't remember. And then at the 1 year mark, we got the Super Nintendo, right? Mm-hmm. And then we got Super Mario. Oh my God, I'm like totally spacing on this.
But Mario 35 this year, yeah.
Yeah, every year, September, Nintendo has to do a little something to make people renew their 1 year for Switch Online. And in 2021, they will roll out their official Nintendo Cloud system. Now, I say this is really counterpoint to your Switch Pro. And the reason being is that they haven't released a Switch Pro, but they do need to address the fact that some of these third-party games, which Switch players are getting accustomed to getting, won't be accessible on the platform. So they can either upgrade the hardware, which, some subset of people would do, or just make the cloud a little more mainstream. So far, we've seen it with Control. We've seen it with, I guess, Hitman 3 is coming. And then we saw some Japanese releases as well that didn't make their way here. But I feel like we're starting to do it. And I think Nintendo is going to make it a formal part of their cloud, of their Switch Online, that you will now need Switch Online to be able to use it. And the games will be available at a cheaper price or however they want to do it. I don't know if they want to make some of these games free as part of it. Probably not the newer releases. But you might see a reduced price on it. But it's going to require having Switch Online. It's going to be one of the perks. And I think that's going to roll out in September, along with some big title, whether it be a Cyberpunk or something like that. But it's going to roll out right with that.
I mean, that's pretty big. I'll give you those. That's a 3-pointer with the potential of half points or whatnot. But
3-point line.
3-pointer. All right, my next one, number 4 here, is I'm also going big. Another 3-pointer. And I don't have the specific details, but what I'm predicting is Nintendo is going to, I don't want to say necessarily Nintendo. Let's rephrase this. Disney is going to come out with some major announcement regarding a game studio. It might not be Nintendo specific, but it will be on the Nintendo platform. And what I mean by this is it might be a partnership with a big company that or it could be Nintendo, it could be Nintendo specifically. It should do something with the reboot of classic games, kind of like they did with the one game of The Lion King and Aladdin. But I think it needs to be bigger than just one game. But Disney in the video gaming world will make some type of announcement this year. Does that make sense? I don't want to say, I know that's kind of broad, but it could be this pretty broad. Remember when Epic Mickey came out and it was this huge deal? It was going to be this big, like something like that. Like there's going to be some new next big thing, whether it's something they're going to do with either, kind of like you could play the retro games on their cloud-based server. It's going to be something along that line, but it's going to be Disney-related games and like video gaming studio of some sort. Okay. So I don't know how to word that. I'm just going to say Disney video gaming big announcement.
I would love to see some of the Genesis games come as part of it. I don't know if that's possible or what they can do, but those Genesis games were really, Castle of Illusion and all that, and I'd love to see those kind of make their way to Switch.
I have a feeling it could be something similar to like one game, like a big Epic Mickey type game of some sort, but something new.
Okay.
So
I like it. I'd like to see it.
How many points do you think that's worth?
I will say it's going to be at least a 2.
Okay.
I'm going to put it at a 2.
That's
it's
fair.
Almost close to a 3 because it's a there's no rumor for anything with it.
I did nothing. This is just me speculation. Disney is as you guys know, I'm a big Disney insider. Disney is looking for new avenues to make money. They did the Disney Plus thing. I think they're on their next journey, and they know with the pandemic, video games, Disney's smart. They know that video games is a big market right now, and they've dabbled in it in the past. And I think their current CEO, Chapek, is a guy that knows business, and this is where he's going to be moving. He's going to look to capitalize on some of that gain. So that's why I think there's going to be something that happens in this year.
And the only reason I'm not going to give it a 3 is just because it's a little broad. So
it is broad.
You got some wiggle room. So it's almost like a 2.5, though. So I'll give it a 2.
Okay. That's fair. I agree.
My next one is plain and simple. I've been saying it since last year. 2021 is the year. Breath of the Wild 2. Holiday 2021. Here's why. I think there were some possibilities for Breath of the Wild 2 to come out in 2020. Obviously, COVID really hindered them. And I think it was easy for them to decide. I think Age of Calamity may have gotten rushed. There was a lot of parts of the game that really needed polish in Age of Calamity. And I think Breath of the Wild 2 was supposed to be the holiday game, but they realized it's not going to make it. So they put out Age of Calamity a little sooner than they probably would have liked to. It's giving them extra time, and I think they want Breath of the Wild 2 to be a holiday release. I think it would be a huge holiday release. And so I think they're just pushing it a year, and it's just going to be their big polished game. Maybe they'll add some more stuff in it, and I think it'll be a better release coming out. So without a doubt, dude, I want 1 point for this. This is without a doubt. Yeah. There is no risk to it at all.
I strongly feel the same. There's no way they want to bridge the gap of Age of Calamity with Breath of the Wild 2. They're meant to be in conjunction with each other. I'm sure the stories are going to tie in. There's no way they want more than a year. Like you said, I don't think they ever even wanted a year, but they have to bridge that gap. I actually agree with you on this one.
There were times when I actually thought they would release it on an anniversary, maybe do a March 3rd, but I think in the end, that's not really important for them to do. Yep. But I do think they need to put space between Age of Calamity, because there's going to be some DLC for Age of Calamity. We're going to see some extra content at Age of Calamity, and they don't want that too close to Breath of the Wild 2, especially because the storylines diverge. Yep. It's going to be a little bit weird. I'm really curious to see what they do in hindsight with Age of Calamity, but no doubter. Breath of the Wild 2, holiday 2021.
All right, here's my last one here. As we know, Nintendo is working with the film company Illuminations on a new Super Mario movie. I am predicting it here, folks. In 2021, we will get an official name for the movie and a trailer. Whether it's a teaser trailer introducing the name of some sort. The film is originally not supposed to come out till 2022. That's the only thing we really know. My prediction is we get the name and a trailer, whether it's a 30-second teaser or a full 2-minute trailer. We will see something about the film this year.
That is one of my predictions. I had 8 of them, and one of them was a summer trailer. Yeah, we're going to see something this year, I think. That's a good one.
Yep.
Oh, boy. You know what? That's a tough one.
What do you think between 1 and 2?
I'm going to give you a 2.
Okay.
I don't think it's deserving of a 2, but I don't think it's deserving of a 1. So I'm gonna up you on this, because I think I probably rounded down in another. So I'm gonna round this one up for you.
Okay.
Because there's with COVID and everything, and the fact that people aren't in theaters, they might decide they don't want to showcase this one too early. They want to wait for people to see this in a theater. So it's possible you might not even see it. But I'm really hoping. Yeah, I think we're due.
Alrighty.
2021. Let's see it.
Yep.
I can't wait to see his voice. Oh, do you think it's going to be Charles Martinet, or do you think they're going to go in a different direction?
I don't know. We might not see his voice in the trailer, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah. It could be one of those teasers where you see the world and you don't know what it is, and then 3/4 of the way through there's a little a coin sound and you're like, no way.
Yep. Or they ended at the very end of the teaser trailer. It's like Mario, here we go. Like, yeah, like that. I mean, that's how I would do it. But
yes. Oh man.
All right, what did you have for number 5?
All right. I had a couple really tough choices here, but let's make it a little more interesting. This is what we're going to see in 2021. They have been quiet about this since 2017, since literally like March 4th. Joy-Con drift. They've gone through the lawsuits. They've gone through the fixes. Nintendo has largely ignored it. In 2021, we will see the first new iteration of the Joy-Con, and we're going to see a pair that includes a D-pad. We have only seen, I think there are an official Joy-Con from, I think, Hori, that has a D-pad.
It's called. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a weird Joy-Con because it doesn't really charge. It's more of like it just attaches to the system, but it doesn't charge off the system. We are going to see an official Nintendo Joy-Con, first party, that includes a D-pad, and it's going to fix the controller.
You know what? I'm going to give you 2 points because that's not happening.
It's one of those things where it should have happened. Like, this should have happened.
They're never making a D-pad. They're never making a D-pad. That's where you're going to lose that battle.
So here's the reason why I'm going with the D-pad, because I'm combining these two. Obviously, they should have given us a new controller. They should have done it, but they just haven't. And I think part of it is they didn't want to admit to it for lawsuit reasons. Mm-hmm. But they've gone through it now, and I think we're going to see that new Joy-Con. I don't think we've seen it yet. But the reason why we're going to see that D-pad is because it's on a Switch Lite. And if they can put it on a Switch Lite, they can put it on a Joy-Con. And I think I was trying to collect all the colors of the Joy-Cons. And I think I technically still do. But the one thing that's really hit that is it's the same Joy-Con. But man, I would love to buy some like Zelda set or Metroid set or something that has a D-pad. I don't know if the game itself specifically will need it. I think a great set would be a Tetris 99 set, like a Tetris theme, because the D-pad, like when I play Tetris 99, I play on my Switch Lite. Yeah. The D-pad is so much more comfortable to play with than the buttons. You can play for a longer time. So yeah, I think you'll see them both. Once the new controller comes out that doesn't have the drift, then all of them will be like that. But I think you're going to see the D-pad one too.
Absolutely. Great predictions. That was fun doing those. And I'm excited. I guess we'll have to wait a whole year, John. Maybe we can make a note. If one of the predictions ever comes true, we can kind of bring it up throughout the year. But
and it looks like you have a ceiling of 9 points, and I have a ceiling of 10 points. So pretty similar here. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we just get like 1 or 2 right. That would be fine.
That would be, yeah, I agree with that. But John, before we have Sadie wrap us up, what do we have going on in the next few weeks?
Not too much in terms of releases. I did miss Scott Pilgrim versus the World last time, and I wanted to get that in here. I had it written down, and I just missed it. They actually just did a limited run, just put out physical versions of it. And that game came out on January 14th. You can get a physical version on limited run as well. They have I don't know if you saw it, a whole bunch of different sets of varying prices and tons of accessories and pins and keychains. They are all in on Scott Pilgrim stuff. So give them a look. And since limited run now does those 30-day windows, you haven't missed anything. You can order the special edition, you can order regular, whatever. So give them a look. January 26th, I think, is the first exciting new Switch release of the year, Cyber Shadow. This is the Ninja Gaiden looking game that's being published by Yacht Club Games, the makers of Shovel Knight. They didn't develop this, but it looks amazing. I am hoping it is super good. Panzer Paladin also looked amazing, and I was super disappointed by it. Hopefully Cyber Shadow does not. And then what else do we have, Drew?
Of course, we have Monthly Mayhem, folks, going on. Donkey Kong. Get your con on, if that made sense. And again, make sure you get that all in by January 31st. This is a shortened version of the Mayhem. You're not going to have a chance for us to remind you again, unless you're on Discord. But that's it, John. that's all I have for tonight. This was a good show. It was a fun show. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Good night, dads.
The Dads After Dark show is a part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher. Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channel for some naughty After Dark talk. Follow us on Twitter @NDadsAfterDark. Ask us a question, and we may answer it on the show. That's all for tonight. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.